going to be more of the same, at least in the weather department. Temperatures getting to about 84 degrees being our peak temperature. But take a look at your evening. If you're headed out to many of events in San Antonio or you're headed up to Worst Fest, 84 degrees. And although we're not going to be cooling down to the 50s for most of us, it still will be cooling down fairly quickly once that sun starts to set. Still seeing about 20-mile-an-hour wind gusts being possible.
Live from KSAT 12, the 6 o'clock news starts right now.
Acquitted and speaking out, the former officers cleared in the Melissa Pettis case, speaking about the verdict and what's next.
Data centers are popping up all around San Antonio and Texas. What does that mean for our local power use? We talked to CPS Energy about what they're seeing.
My wife calls me and she says, you know, we need to probably take her to the emergency because she's complaining of a really bad headache and she's slurring.
This is really a parent's worst nightmare, their child getting sick and no one knows why. But now that that family does know, they want to make sure that you learn about a disease that's more common than you may think.
And it's a very special Thermometer Thursday. We're kicking off the Christmas season a little early. I'm with my friends here at Cowboys Air Conditioning and Heating. We have a special guest, and we'll get to the forecast, talking about some hope for rain next week. See you in a bit.
And there you have it. Thank you for joining us this evening. I'm Stefania Jimenez.
And I'm Ernie Zuniga. So just about 45 minutes ago, our Erica Hernandez wrapped up an interview with 2 of the 3 former SAPD officers who on Monday were acquitted of all the charges in the shooting death of Melissa Pettis back in 2023.
And for the first time, we're actually hearing directly from those former officers. Our Erica Hernandez now joins us live from the north side. So Erica, the first question that we have to ask is, how are they doing?
Well, Stefania, they are ready to get back to their lives and find some normalcy again. Alfred Flores and Nathaniel Villalobos are relieved this is all over. Now, Flores was facing a murder charge and Villalobos was facing aggravated assault with a deadly weapon for the shooting death of Melissa Pettis back in 2023. On Monday, it took a jury just 15 minutes, we found out today, to come back with not guilty for all 3 men. So what's next for them? They are not ruling out a return to SAPD.
I would love nothing more than to serve my community again. And that doesn't necessarily mean it has to be with SAPD. It could be with whoever, or it could just be my every day-to-day life.
Absolutely, absolutely. I worked hard to get at in the as a role as a supervisor, so I'm looking forward to getting back.
Now, earlier this week, defense attorneys for the men told us about also pursuing some other legal action regarding what was called a malicious prosecution of these men. Now, coming up on the night beat, more from Flores and Villalobos about that night back in June 2023 and the message they have for the Pettis family. Live on the north side, Erica Hernandez, KSAT 12 News.
Erica, thank you for that. And now to new comments tonight from Congressman Tony Gonzalez regarding the death of his staffer, Regina Santos Aviles.
So earlier this week, KSAT investigators Daniela Ibarra tried to ask the congressman about her death and reports that he and Santos Aviles were having an affair. Those are questions that he chose not to answer.
So today, during an appearance at the Texas Tribune Festival up in Austin, Gonzalez finally spoke about her death.
In politics, you better have thick skin, and you know my name's on the door, and so I'm not like people throwing rocks at me, saying ugly, nasty things. I totally get that, but the rumors are completely untruthful.
Now, Gonzalez went on to say that he did not know what exactly happened. The Bexar County Medical Examiner has ruled Santos Aviles died. Her death, rather, was a suicide by setting herself on fire. So we'll continue to keep an eye on this and bring you updates as we get them. Meanwhile, the search is on for a man connected to the shooting death of a 17-year-old girl at a house party in southwest Bexar County.
So this is the suspect here. He's Deshaun Suggs. The Bexar County Sheriff's Office says that he shot Aliana Ujeda on Lucky Road on September 28th. Deputies found Ujeda lying in the street with a gunshot wound to the head.
So witnesses said that an argument actually led to that shooting, and that multiple shots were fired. So if you know anything that could lead to a suspect or the suspect in question here, you are asked to call the Bexar County Sheriff's Office.
So maybe you've noticed, you're driving around, you see more data centers popping up in our area.
So those buildings that house them also have a lot of computers, servers, and network equipment, and that means they will use a lot of energy.
Yes, Garrett Berger talks with CPS Energy about how exactly that's going to affect the power grid overall.
Data centers aren't just popping up here.
There's no secret. Really, since 2020, you've seen a influx of data center requests nationwide.
But their spread plays into CPS Energy's future plans. The utility's VP of Corporate Development says their current system peaks at about 6,000 megawatts. By 2035, they're looking at adding roughly another 2,000 megawatts from all new customers.
When you're talking about growing by 30 to 33% over the next decade, and 50% of that's coming potentially from like a large user like a data center or something equivalent, that is a big change to the planning, the assumptions, the forecasting.
How much does that, I guess, light a fire under the utility to really bring in more capacity?
Yeah, so look, we'll be making investments to accommodate this, right?
For context, CPS says a megawatt of electricity is enough to power 250 homes on a hot day. Data centers can use a lot more than that.
The largest inquiry we have seen is in the thousands of megawatts, potentially. Multiple solution on a physical site. On average, I think we're no different than what you're seeing on a national trend, and it's anywhere from that kind of 50 megawatt to 150 megawatts kind of range.
Data centers aren't just power hungry. They can be thirsty too, sucking up water for cooling systems.
They're using far less than even 1% of our potable water use, and probably 3 to 5% of the recycled water use.
That's not a huge drain yet, the San Antonio water system says, but it's something they need to pay attention to in the future. Using data from one of the city council offices, we've made this online map showing data centers that are here or expected soon. You can check it out on our website, KSAT.com. I'm Garrett Berger, KSAT 12 News.
Staying with the theme of energy, we've had a few days this week where we turned up the heat at night and then used the AC during the day. So what this means is that your heating and cooling systems, they need to be in tip-top shape.
And Adam Caskey is the perfect place to talk about that. So Adam, what's in store for us tonight?
I'm with my friends and partners here at Cowboys Air Conditioning and Heating, right along Blanco Road near North Star Mall. The location is important. We'll get to that in just a bit. And of course, very spring-like weather. Your AC may be kicking on. You're not going to need your heater because mornings are only getting warmer. And here's another thing. We all know there's been an extra need, especially during the government shutdown. And the fine people here at Cowboys have a very special guest with a special announcement. Who said it can't snow in November? All right, Big Al, tell me what you have going on over here.
Adam, it's the community. If it wasn't for the community, I wouldn't be here. I want to give back to the community, and this is a big way that Cowboys Air Conditioning, with all the hard work that we put in, we want to give a little bit back to our seniors that deserve it.
Family-owned, operated small business here. You saw the need, and you saw even the stories on KSAT. So then what came to mind?
Teaming up with you and putting this together so that we can get out there and support our seniors.
All right, so tell me exactly what this is.
It's a $10,000 check to Meals on Wheels.
Yeah, all right, Allie, what's the need for Meals on Wheels right now?
So we have so many seniors on our waiting list right now that really need help. So the community coming together to help us, this is going to be a big difference.
This is huge.
Yeah, it's huge for us.
Well, thank you, and thank you all. This is so great. And we have a toy drive going on. We're going to get to that and how that can help you out with a system checkup. Fonz, let's make it snow a little more, buddy. Come on, yeah, there it is. That's so fun. I got some in my mouth, but it's fine. All right, so let's really quickly talk a little bit about the weather here. 84 was our high temperature today, but look at the average, 72. The record high, 91. Typically, this time of year, we need to get around 90 to get into that record territory and break a record. But the morning low of 57, it was comfortable. That's a thing of the past. Oof. Notice as we go into the weekend, mornings get warmer, afternoons we're going to be well into the 80s for afternoon high temperatures. So it's really going to be very spring-like. Think of spring as you're preparing to venture out for even evening and nighttime activities. I know we're decked out for Christmas. It's never too early to get into the Christmas spirit, if you ask me. So temperatures rising quickly, and a little bit of humidity in the air as well. Some mugginess leading to a little bit of morning fog and some evening snow here at Cowboys. I love this. We'll talk about the little bit of hope for rain, and of course, we're kicking off the thermometer ornament season. We'll have that for you later in just a bit.
It's always thermometer ornament season. I mean, Adam makes those.
Snow in San Antonio, kind of.
And traffic apparently right now, too. That's I-10 at Frio right now. We've been watching this for a while. I checked up on TxDOT's website. Heavy traffic there at I-10, but we really don't know why. It's not like I saw any construction or accidents happening. It looks to be just rush hour traffic that's happening there at I-10 and Frio. So if you're waiting for anybody that usually takes that route, just know that it might be a while before they get home.
That's just Thursday evening in San Antonio.
Correct.
All right. Well, tonight, a mother and father from San Marcos need you to hear this story. For months, they lived a nightmare wondering why their 14-year-old daughter kept getting sick with headaches, mouth sores, and at one point was slurring her speech.
At that point, it got really scary for them. And it turns out that Gia Rodriguez was battling something that you've probably never heard of. It's called Sjogren's disease. And this family wants you to know what it is so that their daughter's struggle can bring someone else hope, answers, and hopefully healing.
Every time I talk about this, I get emotional.
Pictures rarely give you the full story. When you look at these images of 14-year-old Gia Rodriguez, you see a bubbly, healthy young woman. You'd have no idea what she's endured. Her parents, Olivia Torres and Dani Rodriguez, gave me the Cliff's Notes version of the last few months.
Little growth she had that was growing over one of her molars.
Minor headaches here and there.
Dani says Gia's ailments persisted for months until one day her symptoms got worse.
My wife calls me and she says, you know, we need to probably take her to the emergency because she's complaining of a really bad headache and she's slurring.
After a battery of tests, doctors thought they had a diagnosis.
Gia has a tumor.
But that wasn't it. After a week in the hospital, antibiotics, and more tests, doctors finally found the culprit, Sjogren's disease, a chronic autoimmune disorder that affects the glands that produce tears and saliva. It may not sound serious, but left untreated, Sjogren's can cause serious complications of the organs or neurological issues, which is what Gia was experiencing.
That caused her brain to swell, and it cut off her blood flow to that artery. And
Sjogren's affects about 4 million Americans, but it's tricky to diagnose, especially in children, something pediatric rheumatologist Dr. Sarah Stern hopes will change.
Kids make more tears and they make more saliva. We know that they make more tears and more saliva than adults. So we don't have any normative data in the childhood form to say that they are truly dry. And in order to get to the adult classification criteria of severe dryness, they have to be very, very severe dryness.
Right now, there's no cure or FDA-approved treatment for Sjogren's disease. So Gia's following a healthful diet, medical treatment, and taking a cocktail of drugs to manage her symptoms.
you know, you don't ever want to see your kids go through anything.
But Gia's hopeful, and from what I saw of her, tough. So are her parents, who hope you learn about Sjogren's disease, because if by any chance you're among the thousands who every year finds out you have the disease, you know to get the help you need.
Ask questions. Don't be afraid to speak up for yourself.
Especially with the kids, you know.
Really solid advice. The Sjogren's Foundation, by the way, a wonderful resource. You can go there, read the latest on treatment, support groups for Sjogren's patients on their website. We have a link to that on our website, KSAT.com.
A 4-day-old baby boy removed from his parents' care. The controversy pitting a district court judge against the DA's office.
Remembering a local young woman who lost her battle with ovarian cancer is leading to more awareness about the disease. A local health expert shares some of the symptoms all women should know and when it may be time to see a doctor.
All right, we are back now. So tonight, a local school community continues to struggle with the sudden death of one of their students.
So we've told you about Angelina Terrazas, the star softball pitcher at Southwest High School, was just 17 years old. Just 17.
Yeah.
She died Saturday after a short battle with stage 3 ovarian cancer.
And many of you, myself included, were asking, how could this happen to a 17-year-old? Our Pashada Pope spoke with a local nurse practitioner who lays out some of the symptoms and explains how parents talking to their daughters can help in the fight against this cancer.
News of Angelina Terraza's passing has many in shock, not just because she was so young, but also her diagnosis. When many of us hear of ovarian cancer, we think it's in older women.
So not as often in younger women. We do typically see it in middle age, but it does occur.
Amber Holloway is a registered nurse and OBGYN nurse practitioner with the Baptist Medical Network.
Ovarian cancer is the cancer that originates from the ovaries, and it typically starts just to spread within the reproductive system itself, but can continue to metastasize throughout the body.
Holloway says ovarian cancer doesn't fit a specific checklist, especially since there's no distinctive test for it.
Typically, we go based on symptoms. So things like persistent bloating that doesn't seem to be associated with someone's cycle, feeling full early into a meal can be a sign, extreme fatigue, especially in young women where other conditions have been ruled out.
Holloway says if symptoms like these and pelvic pain persist, it may be time for parents to take their daughters to see a doctor. Teenage girls may feel awkward talking about their bodies, but Holloway says open conversations between parents and kids can be an important part of kids' health.
Everybody's household is a little different, but keeping the door open for all types of conversation, things like talking about anxiety, depression, talking about symptoms that you're having to your children can help them to understand that it's okay to talk about their bodies.
Pashada Pope, KSAT 12 News.
Always helps to know the symptoms about this, and hopefully the story will bring awareness to what is really an awful disease, and obviously we still feel for the family.
Yeah, no, indeed. It's tough. We're thinking about Southwest ISD this week, for sure. Okay, outside you can see the conditions there, and you see the live cam sponsored by Cowboys, which is a perfect transition to Adam Caskey, who just so happens to be out there this evening.
Oh, yes, and we are inside where the air conditioning has been flowing, and even when it was really warm out earlier today, we're feeling comfortable inside here at Cowboys Air Conditioning and Heating. And we like to get into the holiday spirit a little early around here, have a good time with it, and we'll get into the thermometers in a little bit. Now, I've got Cody here. Cody, so tell me the connection here between your toy drive here at Cowboys and say like a tune-up or something.
Yeah, basically what we're doing, Adam, we're trying to, give back like Al talked about earlier, and we're giving our customers the chance to be able to not have to pay for a tune-up, and they're going to go ahead and donate a toy.
So a toy of maybe $15, $20?
It doesn't matter the price, whatever it is. We just want a new toy, to give back to the kids, but just a toy in place of paying for a tune-up.
So how could they go about it? Do they just come by, or do they call, or?
Yes, sir. So they can come by to our office, or they can give the office a phone call as well, and they can just bring the toy by, and we're going to have these boxes up in the front, and they can come drop it off and take it from there.
Cool. Right along Blanco Road, not far from North Star Mall, near the Target. That's the best way to think about it, right? That's how we know the location. Definitely. Hey, I need a ho, 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 Santa.
Ho, 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 ho. Merry Christmas early, everybody.
Yes. Merry Thanksgiving, Miss, too, right? All right, we have to get to the weather really quickly. Little bit of hope for rain as we get into next week. Don't get your hopes up too high just yet, but there is a glimmer of hope for a few showers. Let's talk about what's happening outside right now. And right now we're still warm, 78 degrees, still way above the average high temperature for the day. Dew point of 55, that's going to rise tonight, and that rising dew point and increased relative humidity will create some patchy fog like what we had earlier today. So high temperatures across the board, 87 Pleasanton, 88 Cotulla. Man, it was feeling like spring out there today, and it's really not going to change a whole lot. We have the overall temperature set up, giving us above average temperatures in the western and central U.S. It's basically parts of the East Coast that have a little bit of a cool down, but no big noticeable cold front in sight yet. Like the kind that we had earlier in the week, when we woke up to the 30s, we had a little appetizer of winter. Nothing like that, but we'll be in the mid 80s for several days. By next week, we could dip into the 70s. And then if we're looking at the far extended range, there's a little hope for those who like the colder weather by late November, early December. As for rain, it's really the Four Corners, desert Southwest, California. That's where the first upper low is going. Then a second one moves in, and that could drop a little farther south, giving us some of the rain-making energy. And we should actually have enough instability to where not just rain, but some thunderstorms could kick off around this time next week, Wednesday, Thursday timeframe. So until then, it's just a mixture of sun and clouds. Mornings in the 60s and muggy. Afternoons in the 80s. Again, think spring. Even if you're going to some kind of holiday event, think spring when it comes to dressing. You're not going to be too cold at night after sunset, that's for sure. Now, a 20 to 30% chance of those showers as we get into next Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. And the focus really is about Wednesday and Thursday timeframe. So cross your fingers, say some prayers, and hopefully those rain chances will rise, because these upper level systems are very finicky to try to predict. All right, we're going to talk about Thermometer Thursday and how you can get a thermometer ornament. It's that time of year. Coming up in a bit. We'll see you in a few minutes.
All right, welcome back. So VIA bus operators go through a lot of training to make sure that they can safely and efficiently get our community from place to place.
I'm sure that many of us take their work for granted, but please know that it's not easy. Every year they celebrate their training by holding a friendly competition. It's actually within VIA to see who the best bus driver is.
Yeah, they call it the bus rodeo, like R-O-A-D. Rodeo. This year they invited KSAT's Japhanie Gray to participate in their celebrity competition, and here is how her training went.
Passenger pickup! Passenger pickup. So your foot is on your service brake. Okay. Parking brake is down. Neutral. Neutral. Drive. Okay. Steering wheel straight. Okay. Oh, Lord bless you, Jesus. Okay. I'm so sorry. Go slow. Slow. Keep it slow. Because now we're going that way. So go slow. Go slow. Go slow. Slow. Here we go. We got it. We're rocking now. Straight through here. Through there? Yeah. Oh, my Lord. Oh, Lord, I'm about to hit it, Jesus. Oh, Lord. Okay. I will never underestimate what y'all do. You got it. Stop right there. Stop. Straight now. Don't move. Don't move. Straight now. Did I hit another one? Not yet. Okay. Keep her straight. Go slow. Come to your left a little bit. Hey! Halfway through the course now. All right. Let's go. Gas, 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 gas. Here we go. Gas, gas, gas. Brake, 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 brake. Okay. Brake. There you go. I didn't. You took instruction very well for this to be your first time, so I would definitely give you a 7. Out of 10? Out of 10. I will take that. 7 is my lucky number. Yeah.
Jaff is my girl, and I have to tell you, she did very well on the second part of that.
Gonna say, note to self, do not ride with Japhanie
I
in a
think
bus.
she did a lot better than I would do.
No,
so I'll give it to
hats off, hats off,
Yes.
Hats off to Jaff. Okay.
This still ahead on the news at 6. KSAT Investigates takes a closer look at what led a 4-day-old baby to be taken from his mother and then to the Bexar County Courthouse until Child Protective Services could come and get him. That's after the break. A 4-day-old baby taken from his mother and kept at the Bexar County Courthouse until Child Protective Services can come and get him.
So the issue, the judge made the ruling before CPS or the district attorney's office could get involved. KSAT Investigates' Dylan Collier looks at the animosity that followed.
On October 7th, what started as a hearing to confirm paternity for a 4-day-old baby boy ended with him being taken into the custody of Child Protective Services. Judge Mary Lou Alvarez, in her handwritten notes on the case, confirmed the father's paternity, then stated that both parents were unfit imposed a significant risk of imminent harm to the baby. Alvarez sent an email that day stating the baby was being kept in the Children's Court Protective Room until a CPS investigator could arrive. The judge's decision, which was made without CPS or the Bexar County District Attorney's Office being part of the hearing, prompted this scathing letter from the DA's office to CPS days later. Civil Chief Larry Roberson wrote that the judge's actions could cause due process and constitutional rights concerns, was a possible deprivation of parental rights, and exposed the county to possible liability or confusion.
This letter is bizarre. It's just, it smacks of CYA to me.
Meredith Sjogren spent nearly 2 decades in the Bexar County District Attorney's Office, a significant portion of that as supervisor of the Child Abuse and Neglect Section.
So all Alvarez had to hear was sufficient evidence that this baby was in danger. And so this was a very strange response to a judge asking for someone to come down and make sure this baby's going to be okay, in my opinion.
Alvarez, who declined a request to be interviewed for this story, told KSAT in a written statement she was deeply troubled by the DA's decision to file the letter and that she couldn't comment further on a matter still pending in court. But her docket notes potentially reveal what was behind the judge's decision-making. The father had tested positive for THC. The mother, Marissa Salas, was free on bond at the time of the baby's birth and weeks from beginning a lengthy prison term for felony injury to a child. In June 2022, sheriff's deputies found a 15-month-old girl in Salas's care with severe injuries, including burn marks, a fractured skull, and a brain bleed. Salas was sentenced to 20 years in prison in April of this year, but under an agreement between the state and Salas's defense attorney reached this summer, Salas was allowed to stay out of jail until after her baby was born, due to it being a high-risk pregnancy. Sjogren called Alvarez's decision rare, but not unprecedented in Bexar County.
If she had sent the baby home and something had happened, what would we be sitting here saying?
Court records show Alvarez did return the baby to Salas's care late last month after CPS did not file a case. A CPS spokeswoman told KSAT it gets involved only if a report is made to its statewide intake division. We think it's important to note, in completely unrelated matters, Alvarez is just months removed from being reprimanded by the State Commission on Judicial Conduct. That 9-page reprimand laid out multiple violations of the Texas Code of Judicial Conduct, including engaging in conduct not consistent with the proper performance of her duties. Alvarez called the allegations unfounded, but did not appeal the commission's findings. Dylan Collier, KSAT Investigates.
All right, switching gears right now. Yeah, it is Therm Thursday, but
Yes.
not only that, if you liked what today had to offer, if you like today's temperatures, well, guess what? There's more of that.
Beautiful. And Adam Caskey's out live this morning. I did it again. I said morning. This evening at Cowboys Air Conditioning and Heating. It's a bad habit, Adam.
Yeah, welcome to the evening shift,
Thank you.
Ernie.
Yes.
Welcome to the
Check
evening
my
shift.
clock.
You'll just have to get used to it. It's
6:35. Okay,
we forgive you. Are you still waking up at 2:30 a.m.? I sure hope not. So yes, we are at a very special Thermometer Thursday, kicking off ornament season a little early. We'll get to the ornaments in a second. Okay, so you know, I love y'all on Instagram and on social media, and I follow you. So one of my favorites. So the temperature at 9 o'clock this evening is going to be about 67. 67! Yeah! That was one of my favorite posts. Big Al starts it. This is Adam. Okay, well, I started it, but then you guys, it was awesome. That was good. I have a confession to make.
Santa?
Yeah, Santa. I've had.
Where you been, man? You're nice.
Well, let's answer that. I've had my filters that I got from the store for my furnace under my attic, next to the wall, for about 3 months now.
Oh, God.
I'll get to it, honey. I'll get to it. Well, they're in the way. I'll get to it. I know.
That's bad. You've been bad. It's every 30 days, at least.
Yeah, and part of it is because this keeps the system clean. Is that right?
Oh,
When the heat
absolutely.
comes on?
Yeah, absolutely. A cleaner unit's a more efficient unit.
Yeah.
Lasts longer.
Lasts longer. That's key. It's like an oil change. It's an easy oil change. Yes. All right, Santa. Have I been naughty or nice?
Looking at the nice and naughty, the naughty and nice list, excuse me. There you are. You are on the nice list this year, and I'm just hoping that you'll give me some clear skies on Christmas Eve.
What's your source for that info, Santa?
I was hoping you'd know. Maybe you got a little bit of Christmas magic.
Yeah, we got that going on for sure. Actually, let's take a sneak peek at some of the ornament thermometers. We're going back to, seasons past with different designs, more than just the Texas, but I'm going to try to work in some of the other beautiful designs. These are the ones for our wonderful partners at Cowboys AC and Heating. These are for their trees, so they, as a thank you for the partnership for making Thermthurs possible. Okay, really quick look at our evening forecast. We're 78 right now, and like I said, by 9 o'clock we'll be about 67. And then tomorrow morning we'll be in the low 60s. And this whole weekend is going to be spring-like. Mornings in the 60s, afternoons in the 80s. Plan for spring-like conditions with even a bit of humidity back in the air. So the AC may be cranking up, and you may actually have it kicked off, especially in the vehicle, when you've been parked in the sun for a little bit of time. Yeah, hit the snow again. Okay, here it is. I love it. Who says you can't snow in November? We can make it all happen here at Cowboys. What a beautiful scene. Feel like I'm ice fishing now. This is coming down pretty hard. I like it. All right, we'll be back to talk more about the rain chances into next week in just a little bit.
Looking forward to that. Thank you.
Fantastic.
That
Thank you.
snow gives me hope.
Exactly. Very good. Okay, more to come here on the 6 o'clock news. Don't go away.
My friend, something to look out for if you live over in the Northwest. Hopefully the commute should get a lot easier for people there next week. TxDOT will be opening up 2 new flyover ramps. Starting Monday morning, drivers can head east on I-10 and connect to Loop 1604 in both directions. This is the 7th flyover ramp that TxDOT has opened within the past year. So hopefully that'll make things easier.
We're getting there. Okay. Local veterans are getting a chance to find their next mission at a job fair held at Port SA, courtesy of Workforce Solutions Alamo. The 14th annual Red, White, and U Veterans Hiring and Resource event helped a lot of vets get in touch with big name companies today. That included names like Boeing, Oracle, Toyota, and Texas DPS. The event was not just for veterans to find jobs, but military spouses, family members, and even the general public were able to meet with employers and get started on the next chapter of their life. So good luck to everybody.
Yeah, and here's a look at what's coming up on ABC Primetime tonight at 7 o'clock, meaning right after this show. It's 911, followed by an episode of 911 Nashville at 8. And then at 9 o'clock, it's Grey's Anatomy. And then we invite you to join us again here. Oh, you know what? Just keep the channel on KSAT
put the remote
all
away.
night. Yeah, because we'll be here again for the night beat. We'll be right back. I mean, let's go to a live
Well, that's fine.
take a live look outside. Listen, we are talking about all kinds of things here at the 6. All right, so 78 degrees out there right now. Looks like a nice, solid evening. Adam Kasky just told us, you like this? You're going to get more of it in the next few days. We'll be right back. From transportation and childcare to housing, even the food that people put on their tables, Mayor-elect Zohran Mamdani, I butchered that one, made New York City's affordability crisis really the top issue of his winning campaign.
Yeah, so one of Mamdani's key campaign proposals is a plan to open 5 city-owned grocery stores to help lower costs for people with limited access to supermarkets.
As CNN's Lee Waldman explains, our Lee Waldman, by the way, while this concept might sound novel, it's actually been done before.
It's being pitched as a pilot. So I think the idea is that it'll be tested, and then if it works, it might be expanded.
Mayor-elect Zohran Mamdani has proposed launching city-owned grocery stores as a way to tackle New York City's affordability crisis, one in every borough. Professor Nevin Cohen of the Urban Food Policy Institute at the City University of New York explains military personnel, their families, and some veterans already shop at publicly owned grocery stores.
Actually, Donald Trump runs 240 public supermarkets across the world at military bases. The Department of Defense in North America has 177 public grocery stores that are operating. Those public markets that the Defense Department runs can sell food at prices 15 to 25% below market.
Critics of the plan say that it would create an uneven playing field for privately owned and operated grocery stores. In a statement, the CEO of the Food Industry Alliance of New York said, quote, "This proposal seemingly could use taxes paid by businesses and use that money to compete against said business, which is an alarming precedent to set." Cohen isn't moved and thinks Mamdani's plan could serve as a model for other cities.
I think that's complete hyperbole. New York isn't the only city with a large percentage of its population food insecure and high costs of living, rent, childcare, transportation. And I think other cities will look to New York as a model.
Okay, so back here at home.
Yes.
We need to talk about drought, rain chances, all that stuff. Good thing our Adam Caskey is on it.
Oh, we're on it. And let me tell you this, here at Cowboys AC and Heating, if you think back to last Fiesta, April, I was here, we did our fun thing, we shot off the confetti. Look what just fluttered down from the ceiling. Oh, it's the gift that keeps on giving. I think the little snow machine blew it off the rafters, and then it just came down. So, yeah, the Cañón de Casquirón. The legend lives on, even when I don't have it on me. So really quickly, it's thermometer ornament season. I do this every year. And I, make the ornaments for Christmas trees. And I also, by the way, do have a Jewish version as well. So if you don't celebrate Christmas, I do have a different option. Anyway, go to ksat.com/thermometer to enter the drawing. Again, ksat.com/thermometer. And then typically starting December 1st, I'll give away one per day during our evening newscast. So that's how you get it. ksat.com/thermometer to enter the drawing. And I'll be ramping up the giveaway after Thanksgiving. All right, let's get to the forecast. A little bit of rain, some hope for it at least. Don't get too excited yet, but by next Wednesday, Thursday, at least we're looking at a 20 to 30% chance right now. But there is some hope that those chances could rise in the days ahead. And we need it. You look at the drought monitor, not good. Actually falling deeper into the extreme drought category. It's been over 1,500 days since all of South Central Texas has been drought-free. 1,500 days, more than 1,500 days. And according to the National Climate Environmental Information Center, part of NOAA basically, it would take about 13 inches of rain here in San Antonio over the next 6-month period to bust us out of drought. Now here's the thing, with the weather pattern changing that we're seeing, odds are starting to favor above average precipitation from the time frame of about November 18th all the way through the 23rd, mostly due to some upper level systems barreling southward out of Alaska and then coming in to the West Coast in the Four Corners. Doesn't guarantee San Antonio to be above average, but at least it gives us a little more hope, and hopefully it just puts the thumb on the scale a little bit for us. But temperatures remaining above average basically for the foreseeable future. I mean, we're talking mornings well into the 60s, afternoons into the 80s, and then by this time next week, just with a little extra cloud cover, we could be in the 70s. I want to show the whole team. I want everybody to wave. Wave, come on, whole team at Cowboys. Yeah. Thank you so much for having me again, Miss Diane. Thank you. So much, Adam. All right, back to y'all.